Hi, welcome to Bharata First. I'm frankrausanpereira. This is FRP Explains, a show where I try to simplify the complex and put things into perspective. A show where I try to analyze the biggest issue facing us threadbare. Today, I'm going to talk about a series of incidents that have taken place in Manipur for the last 2.5 months or so. It all started on the 3rd of May 2023, and the violence has continued on ever since. Over 200 people have lost their lives, over 200 churches have been burnt and brought to the ground, and over 20 temples have been destroyed in the violence as well. Some 60,000 people have been displaced and sent to refugee camps. They are refugees in their own homeland. That is the sorry state of affairs of Manipur today. A blot on the Indian democracy. We should all, hang our heads up in shame because of what has happened in Manipur. It is truly unfortunate, and what's even worse is the video that came out a couple of days ago of two women being paraded naked on the roads of Manipur, being touched inappropriately, their genitalia, being touched by the men, the filthy men who were parading them on the roads as well. Truly shocking, sickening, and gruesome visuals really coming out of Manipur. It makes you sick to the stomach. So horrific has been this particular incident that the Prime Minister has come out and spoken about it. He has said that there is no place for something like this in India or any other democracy in the world, and is truly saddened by what has happened. And he has also promised the nation that action will be taken and those responsible for this horrendous, horrific act will be brought to book and will be punished.
मैं आपके बीच आया हूं, इस लोकतंत्र के मंदिर के पास खड़ा हूं, तब मेरा हृदय पीड़ा से भरा हुआ है, क्रोध से भरा हुआ है। मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है। पाप करने वाले, गुनाह करने वाले कितने हैं, कौन है, वो अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन बेइज्जती पूरे देश की हो रही है। 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को शर्मसार होना पड़ रहा है।
Let's not forget that the monsoon session of Parliament is underway currently as well, and the opposition too has taken this matter seriously. The opposition demanding for a debate to take place on the floor of the House and asking for the Prime Minister to be present in Parliament while the discussion takes place, so that answers can be sought, and answers they shall get as far as the opposition and the entire nation is concerned. The opposition leader, of course, also saying or suggesting that the Prime Minister has time to make statements outside of Parliament but not within Parliament, the temple of democracy.
Manipur is burning, and the women are raped and naked, paraded, everything, and Prime Minister is keeping quiet. He is giving a statement outside. He is giving a statement outside.
Let me now give you a bit of perspective, a bit of history of this issue at hand. The issue flared up or came to the fore on the 3rd of May, but there is a lot of history that is attached to it as well. There are two, or I'm going to divide the ethnic groups in Manipur into two major categories. One is the tribal groups and the other the Meiteis. Now, the Meiteis constitute about 60 odd % of the population in Manipur, but they live in only 10% of the state, whereas the tribals constitute about little less than 40% of the population in Manipur, and they are mainly the Nagas and the Kukis, and they stay away from Imphal in the hill areas of Manipur or the rural areas of Manipur. Now, the problem came to light when the Manipur High Court was hearing a case where the petitioners had said that the Meiteis need to be accorded tribal status because they feel that their rights are being invaded upon. They have said that it's not just about educational rights or tax rights, or for that matter recruitments in jobs, not just reservation, but they want to preserve their land, their culture and everything else associated with it. So, the High Court was hearing this particular matter where the representatives of the Meitei community also stated that before Manipur was integrated into India in 1949, that they were actually categorized as scheduled tribes, but after the integration took place, that scheduled tribe category or categorization was taken away, and hence they need to be classified as scheduled tribes. Now, the other side has argued that there are certain sections among the Meiteis who already come under the category of scheduled tribes and other backward castes as well. So, there is no need for them to be included as a scheduled tribe. Now, I told you about the population dynamics as far as Manipur is concerned, but let us not forget that the 60 odd % of Meiteis that live in Manipur, about 90% of them reside in the Imphal area and only about 10% outside of that, whereas the Kukis and the Nagas live in the rest of the portions of Manipur. There are about 34 categorized scheduled tribes in Manipur, and all of them are dispersed across the state. So, that is how the dynamics is as far as the population density within Manipur is concerned. Now, this is something that has been covered in the 2011 census. Now, what the Meiteis also have been saying is that they are not allowed to buy land outside of the Imphal and Greater Imphal area, and that is something that needs to change, whereas their lands are being bought by the tribals from the hill regions and the other areas as well, and this has been a real bone of contention. It's unfortunate that the violence continues unabated even so many days after it first started on the 3rd of May, and we are continuing to talk about it today, so much so that it has become international news. The world is talking about it. All eyes have been on India in the recent past because our stature has grown at the global level. We have done wonderfully well as far as our neighbors and international partners are concerned too. We have seen the successful visit that Prime Minister Modi had in France and in the UAE as well. This is definitely a blot as far as we are concerned, because there are other nations who are looking at us and saying that in a democratic India this should not happen, and we ourselves are saying that this is something that is unpardonable, truly unfortunate, and the sooner it comes to an end the better it is. Well, let's hope that better sense prevails somewhere, sometime. Let's hope that better political will prevails as well, and this is brought to an end sooner rather than later. That's it on this edition of FRP Explains. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon as well. There's more such content coming your way very soon and shortly. Until next time, this is frankrausanpereira signing off.